how to reshape the data, right? So there are situations where we need to do some kind of reshaping. I guess most of you would have done it already in the Excel, the pivoting, how to convert the rows into columns. That is what you are pivoting. And unpivoting is the opposite, how to convert columns into rows. Pretty simple thing. And the other one is transpose. If you want to rotate the table, okay, and if you want to rotate the table from rows to columns and column to rows, okay, in one shot, right, one go, instead of doing pivoting and unpivoting, using transpose, if you click on it once, it will rotate the table. For example, from rows to columns, it will convert. And if you want to convert back from columns to rows, you can use transpose. To rotate an entire table such that columns are converted to rows and rows are converted to columns. In that kind of situation, we'll be using transpose. This is my data set. Look here. And my data set looks like this. Each row, we can see the city data. And Pune, in 3 different dates, what is the unit sold? And Chennai, in 3 different dates, what is the unit sold? So the record, right, the city values are stored in record. When you click on transpose in Power Query Editor, it will look here. Now Pune, this row become a column here. Pune, 280, 643, 452. Instead of displaying it horizontally, it displays vertically. It simply rotates this. And one more time, if you click on the transpose icon, it will get, this one will get converted back to this, or it will get, it will get converted like this, converted back to this original state. Okay. If you want to look at the data in different dimension or different dimension, right? In that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. Rather, you don't want to use transpose. If you want to pivoting, the typical pivoting, converting rows into columns, the same thing you can do it. Whatever I have explained as part of transpose, the same thing can do it. And unpivoting is the opposite, converting from columns to rows. Now we will take a look at that one in Power Query Editor. So what I will do is I'll just load some other data here. This is my expenses. I just hit the load button. And I go to the Power Query Editor, transform data. And I need to select the expenses. Okay, because I work with expenses data now. Meanwhile, I will just disable these two things, deselect this one. Okay, and we'll remove the table from the report and any visual, and these columns will be broken. Continue. Okay, let it be there. And expenses here. Okay, I just click on refresh. So these are the 3 columns are there in this expenses file or table. So here you can see that year 2020 for the 9 months, right? For 9 months, we have 3 years data here, and each year we can see 9 months data here. Okay, the expenses value here. Now what I do is I just select year column. I just go to the transform, and here I just click on the pivot column. We'll start with the pivot column. I just want to convert the row into columns. So ideally, I need 2020, 2021, 22. So now you just click on the drop down. You can see the unique values, 20, 20, 21, 22. Even though you have more values here, if you select, if you click on the drop down, you can see the distinct values. Okay. Instead of displaying it like this, you display 2020, 2021, 2022. Okay. And then rotate this one. Okay. You want to convert these rows into columns. Okay. For that, I selected here. And now what I do is, okay, I just go to the transform and I click on pivot. Here I can see that values column. So here expenses, I wanted to convert the row year into columns. and each column display the expenses. Got transformed, right? If you want to check with the original data for month 1 year 2020 5,000 or and 2021, right? These 2 months for 2021 the same value 22 6,000. We'll go back to the source. Okay, we cannot see back here. Okay, see 2020 month 1 5,000 and 2021 5,000 and 2022 6,000. It did a correct job. It converted the rows into columns. Okay, or otherwise, if you want to do the pivoting on a month, we can select month, go to the transform, click on the pivot column and select the values here, expenses. The year remains here, 2021. This gives you much better view. And each year, we want to see the sales for 9 months. Okay. This is how you can do pivoting. So what is unpivoting? Unpivoting is the opposite. Now we want to convert these columns into rows. So for that, we have an option available here. We have a feature called something called unpivot columns. So if I select unpivot columns, what will happen is whichever column I selected, only that one will get unpivoted. Okay, what I do is I select all the 9 months by holding the control key. Only when you what happened? I'm just holding the control key. You are not supposed to leave the control key. Okay, you're not supposed to release it. You need to keep hold the control key until you finish selecting all the required columns. So 9 columns, 9 columns. I selected it, and I go to the transform, and then I click on unpivot. Look here, year, month. So we got back the previous state. Got it? My original data was, only thing is you need to rename the column here, month and expenses. So first month into 2020 5,000, 2021 5,000 and 2022 6,000. It's correct. Okay, and what I do is I'm going to undo this one. Look here, I just remove this control is it kind of control is it. Okay, I just undo this one by clicking on this cross mark unpivot. Okay, and I just do this one. This is the pivoted one. Okay, and here we can see 3 year, and for each year we can see 9 months the unit sold or sales value for each month here. Fine. Now what I do is I select only year column and I go to the transform. Instead of using the first option, I'm going to use the second option. The first option, the flip side of the first option is, the downside of this one is, you need to select all the columns which you wanted to unpivot. Especially in this case, we have 9 months. You need to select each and every month by holding the control key. But instead, what you do is you select the column which you don't want to unpivot and go here, unpivot other columns. Except this selected column, rest of the column you unpivoted. Just click on this, done, right? That is what the second option is. Unpivot only selected columns. You want to unpivot only selected columns, you can do it. So in this case, you want to convert the columns into rows, right? For example, you want to select this one and then you just go here. Only the selected columns you want to unpivot. Here what happened, that month column along with the month value, you can see another column called attribute 1. Okay, here it shows attribute 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay, you can basically you have 3 options here. Okay, one is the unpivot. Okay, and if you are using hardly 1 or 2 columns, you select those 2 columns by holding the control key and then click on unpivot. It does the unpivot. Whereas this one is pretty simple. Okay, this is very simple. Even if you have multiple columns, if you select the column which you don't want to unpivot, and if you choose this option, it is pretty fast. You don't have to manually select, if you have 20 columns or 25 columns, you don't have to manually select it. Unpivot only selected column, specific column only you wanted to unpivot it. Okay, so in that kind of situation, you can go for that. And the next one is the transpose. Okay, now I selected here, and I just click on the transpose. Look here, all the years, the table got rotated now. For each year, we have 9 months. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2021 we can see the same thing. 7, 8, 9, and 2022 we can see 9 months. So we can rotate the table like this. You can rotate the table using transform, and if you do it one more time, you will get back to the previous state, the original state. Okay, so if you wanted to view the data in different aspect, the transform, but with the help of transform, you can do pivot and unpivot in one go. If you are very particular about doing pivot only, then you can go for this. That is the difference between the transform and other thing. Next one is the reverse rows. When you click on this, the bottom record will go to the top. Okay, that is what is happening. So the year supposed to be in the first row, wasn't it? Or else I just click on this. We'll go back to our pivoted column itself. Okay, 2020, 2021, 2022. If I go here and if I want to reverse the rows, see 2022, the bottom one became first, and the middle one will remain as it is there, and the top one appearing in the last one. When the management or when the subject matter experts, if they want to do some kind of data analytics in different dimensions, right? So if they want to rotate the data, they can rotate it. So that much of flexibility is available with various transpose and reverse rows and pivot and unpivot. They have that much of flexibility, right? The data analysts, we have that much of flexibility to rotate the data, convert the rows into columns, columns into rows, all the things you can do. Reverse the rows also possible here. So nothing much great about it. Okay, and this is actually powerful transformation. This feature is so powerful, right? Just at the just by clicking this, it does this everything. Next, we will continue with something called append and merge. In the real-time scenario, most of the time, we do append and merge. Majority of the time, as part of the data pre-processing, we do these two tasks also in addition to other tasks, like reshaping the data, formatting the column, and replacing the empty values with some value, right? And removing the duplicate records. Apart from this, we do some append and merge. When do we do append? Supposing I just give you one scenario. Every week, Monday, you need to generate one weekly sales report. Previous week sales report you need to generate it. But previous week sales related data are available in 7 different files. For each day, they generate one file. For Monday, you have a separate file. Tuesday, you have a separate file. Monday through Sunday, 7 days, each day you have separate files are available. It is not merged already. So what you need to do is you need to append these 7 days data into a single file, so that every Monday you will have 7 days data available in a single file when you use append option. And with that, if you create a report or dashboard, it'll with that you can generate a weekly report or weekly sales report or weekly revenue or expenses, right? You can generate it with that. So in that kind of situations, we are going to combine 7 days data into single file. That is called your append. Whereas merge is something similar to append, but in the case of merge, okay, in the case of merge, So we'll be combining data from two or more tables based on matching rows. That is the difference between append and this one. We're simply combine. In this case, we are simply combining rows from two or more tables, one after another. Whereas here, we're combining data from two or more tables based on matching rows. What do you mean by matching rows? First, we'll start with append. Look here. So you have 2 different days or 2 different weeks data is available in 2 different files. So you need to combine these two into single file. Look here. So what happens? Look here. Let me just show you here. You have 336 records are there. But the 6 records, but each file you have three records. After you want to combine these two things so that 6 records will be in a single file. What happens is when you use append, it'll combine the rows from 2 tables one after another. So one after another, right? So in total you have 6 records here. This is that much simple, the append. But the prerequisite here is so there is no hard and fast rule, okay, when it comes to append. When it comes to data quality, other thing, right? Consistency of the data and to address any redundant columns, right? You're not supposed to have redundant columns, duplicate columns, okay, and also to avoid some kind of data loading error. If you follow these 3 thumb rules while before you perform the append, you will not encounter any errors, and you are not end up with any kind of storing the values redundantly. For example, this is the approach. If you follow it, you can prevent errors. All the columns, for example, this is file 1, this is file 2. All the files column order should be same. If the column order is not same, and if you do append, it will still work. For example, in the first file, you have product sales currency date, whereas in the second file, you have product currency and sales. If you have it, okay, in this case, it is a text value, job will fail. In this case, it will fail, okay. All the files column should have the same data type. Data type should be same. Column orders also matters. Should be same. Okay, and then the column names should also be same. Otherwise, what will happen is, for example, here I have that date, and supposing if I have date 1, instead of date here, date 1 is there. What Power Query Editor will think is when it does the append, it will consider this as a different column than this one. What it does is after combine, but still it will work, but it will create additional column date 1. And then for these 3 records, there is no value exists for date 1. Okay, hence it will put null, but it will put this value here. Okay, these values here. These values will come here. Okay, but in this case, against this, it'll be null. But whereas in the date column here, since date 1 got created here, so here it will put nothing here. Date column will be having only these 3 values. Since you don't have date column here, right? This is an extra column. Okay, in this case, here it will put null, something like that. Okay, so hence if you follow the naming column names, right, before you perform the append, column, if you check the column names are same for all the files, then you are safe. And see, in this case, the demo what I give is just hardly 5 records or 10 records. In real time scenario, we are loading 0.2 million records, 0.3 million records, sometimes 5 million, 10 million. In that case, to loading one file itself, it takes longer time. Okay, and so without performing this kind of check, okay, so that is where the data profiling is very much helpful. Okay, you can go and check, do we have any Data type you check it, and column order, everything is same, right? All the things, if you check it, it will be good. So you don't have to do, yeah, if you do data profiling for all the things, it is good, because before you append, you're not supposed to have any um, error in this column, right? So you need to check it there. And the next thing is the data type. Okay, data type and the order. You might be asking, why order? So data type I already explained. Supposing you have currency here, in this order is not same as this one, currency here and sales here. But currency is a text data type. When you load the text into numeric value, the job itself will fail. You assume that here we have, point, let's say 2 million records are there. Here you have 7 million records are there. If the job fails, what will happen? So let's at the end of 2 million got loaded. To load this one itself, it took longer time. And then when it tries to append these records again, it will load everything, 7 million. At the end of 7th million, it will fail because of the data type problem. So let's say if this takes 4 hours time, right? You are lost. You are going to lose 4 hours. Hence, you need to be cautious before you perform append. Just take a look at the column name and data type. Everything is same, okay, or same. The column order is same, fine. Everything is good, okay, fine. I just demonstrate you how to perform append in Power Query Editor so that you will get a complete picture. Here, so being inside the Power Query Editor, also you can do the data loading. So when you click on the home ribbon, you can see the new source. You just click on it, and I just select append, Excel thing, and I have something called append1.xls. You will find all these files in my website. I just select this one. Okay, if you see here, we have 5 columns are there. The second file, we have only 4 columns. Still it will work. But in that kind of situation, there will not be any issue. I'll just show you here, home and the new source. I'm going to load another file, append to. Here also I'm going to select, but these values are different, that values are different. But column names, we can see, somewhat different, different column names here. If you look at foreign sales here, we have 5 columns are there. And except location, rest of the columns are same as this one, product, sales, currency, date. But here date 1 is there. Instead of date 1 is there. And you have location is also there. Okay, but here you don't have location. Let's say in this data set, you have 3 million records are there. Okay, and in this data set, you have 4 million records are there. If you unmindfully perform append, there is a separate column. So you will have 2 date columns. So one is date, another one is date 1. Let's see if I do it unmindfully, what happens. So, okay, for the time being, I'm going to remove location. For the sake of consistency, I'm going to remove it. So in order to perform append, I just click on home ribbon. I just go to the extreme right side. And here, if I navigate to this one, append queries as new. So you have 2 options. When you select this one, don't ever try this. When you try this one, what will happen? These 2 queries will become a single query. After append, if you wanted to cross verify, so how many number of records were there, how many number of records are there? Let's say here you have 14 records, here here you have 14 records. 28, whether 28 records got 5 here, right? So here you have 14, here you have 5. Okay, 14 plus 5, 19 records got loaded or not. If you want to cross check it, it will not be available because these 2 will get appended as single file. So that is the reason why, at least for cross verification, you keep it, these 2 queries as it is for the time being. Okay, and then I click on append queries as new. Since I selected this one, in this window, append queries window, the foreign sales appears first, as a first table. The second table, I just select the foreign sales too. Okay, I just click on OK. Look, remember in this one, foreign sales, we have date column, and foreign sales too, we have date one. The rest of the columns are same. And if you see here, product, sales, currency, everything is fine. Date, it added an additional column called date one. Actually, these two are same. Unnecessarily, this column got duplicated, or redundantly we created the column. And if you see here, for all these 14 records in the file one, in the date one, we don't have any value, because in this file one, we don't have any column by the name of date one. Hence, it puts null here. But in the second file, only we have the values for date one, it puts here. And in here, in the date column, is there in the first file, whereas it is not there here, hence it puts null here. What we should have done, we could have renamed this one as a date, or we could have renamed this a date one. Okay, that's why I said the column names should be same. The third rule, column name should be the same. Okay, anyhow, we did not disturb this one, still it remains as it is. Okay, now what I do is I select this file again. I just go to the home ribbon. I select append queries as new. So before I do this, I just go here and I make a changes to this one. I just rename it to date. Now it's perfect. If I go and select on append, good here, right? I don't have to create one more time and another query. Okay. I just renamed it. The renamed column got automatically refreshed here. Okay. Everything is perfect now. You need to be mindful. Another thing what you need to remember is append doesn't take into account of duplicates. Okay, so duplicate records. Okay, it can have the duplicate records when you have the append. Supposing in this data set, let's assume that, okay, these last two records value appears in this file also. That's a duplicate. It will simply blindly append this one. So hence, after you append the values from the two files, or whatever the number of files you have it, right? After you do the append, you need to check it. How many number of records were there? 14. Here you have 5. 14 plus 5, 19 records got loaded successfully. Good. Remember that append will not do the duplicate check. Whether we have duplicate records, something, it will not do that. In SQL query, how many of you are aware of SQL query? In SQL query, to take a Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, anything, okay, any ODBMS. In SQL query, we have something called union all. Union all. It is equivalent to union all. Okay, something like A union B. It includes all the values. It is not taking into account of duplicates. Supposing you have in the data set A, you have 1, 2, 3. Data set B, you have 1, 5, 7. It will give you 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, again 1. The duplicate value also come here. That is what your union all. You have something called union in a SQL. Union will remove the duplicate. Okay, it will not, it will not take one again here. Okay, after it is doing the joining, okay, it will not, it will remove the duplicate. But whereas append is similar to union all in SQL query, and merge is similar to your join in SQL query. Hope you understood the append, how to perform append. After you perform the append, you don't need these two files. You can right click on it. Either you can delete it. Instead of deleting it, what you can do is you can disable enable load, and you can do include in reports and all, right. So you can disable that one. You can deselect this one. So that if I, for example, if I close and apply, Okay, append one. Okay, we have something called append one. So yeah, the append one was the merged one. Did you notice it, right? The foreign sales were not loaded when you selected close and apply. The foreign sales too was not loaded since we have disabled that enable load option. I just show you one more time. So this file, we have loaded it here using new source in Power Creator in the home ribbon. We have something called Excel workbook. When I selected this, I pick up foreign sales from my D drive folder. Similarly, I loaded these two things. Okay. Now I did my append. I combine these two data. Then why I need these two things? Either I can delete it. I'm not deleting. Simply what I do is I just disable the enable load, and I just disable the enable load. So what happened in that case, when I click on close and apply, only the append, whatever I combine these two files in this one, only this one will get applied, and only that one will get loaded here. Got it? Fine. So usually when you load a file, for example, sales, something like when you go to get data or even the Power Query, you can see that file here. But now that foreign sales too, that those two tables are not at all visible here. That we disable that option, right? Because of which, because we don't need it after we combine those two files in single file. Why we need it? So by doing so, we can see in this case we are working with only 2 or 4 or 5 files. In real terms, you'll be working 10 different files or 15 files, right? When you do a lot of data transformation in Power Query Editor, if you are not mindful of these options, right? If you don't disable these kind of things, it will take a lot of time and unnecessarily it will reload the data into your model. Okay, now you understood what is append. Very simple one. The next one is the merge. What is merge? So here you want to combine these two tables data based on the matching rows. So here the product and product column, right, are common between these two tables. This is the prerequisite. If you don't have any common column between the two tables, then you cannot do merge. Now the second rule is when you do a merge, right? These two tables should have common column, but here you need to have some primary key column, here foreign key. What is primary key? For example, in this case, this is my primary key. Product is a primary key. Here, Nikon should appear only one time. You are not supposed to have the duplicate value of the Nikon. And Panasonic should appear only one time. Each product should appear only one time. There should not be any duplicate. That is what called as primary key. But cost price, and here you can see, they say Nikon I sell it 250, Panasonic also 250. Price can be duplicate. But the column which I call it as a primary key, it should have only the unique values. You are not supposed to duplicate something like Aadhaar number. But here, this is the foreign key for this table. Foreign key for this table, because these values are coming from this table only. So Nikon and Panasonic. But here it can, since it's a foreign key, you can have a duplicate here. But at least one table you should have unique values here. So based on the common key column between these two tables, primary key, foreign key, you can perform merge. What type of merge I can do it? So let's say, okay, now the question is, now you understood what is merge. Okay. You want to combine the data from 2 or more tables based on the matching rows, matching the matching key columns here. Okay. And what kind of requirement? For example, in this table, I want to bring in the cost price. My manager wants to see, along with the product, each product, he wants to see the cost price and then the listed price and sales. Here we don't have the listed price, or let's cost price and sales you want to see together like this. The single table itself, you want to see the cost, but the cost price is available in this table. You wanted to bring in this cost price to this table, bring into this table, but you cannot simply drag and drop. It will not work. So you need to do a merge based on the common key column between these two tables. Only then you can bring in here. And there are, so using merge, as I said, in SQL, in SQL query, we use join. Different types of joins are there, right? SQL like join operations you can perform using merge. There's something left, the inner join. This is called your inner join. This is your left join, and this is your right join. This is your full outer join. This is your left anti-join. This is one of the interviews, my student was asked with left anti-join. This is right anti-join. Okay. Here, what is inner join? The common value between these two data sets. So in this thing, if you see the common values, Nikon and Panasonic, right? Inner join, both of them. So all the values related to Nikon, all the values related to Panasonic will be selected here. So Panasonic appears 2 times because these two are common between these two, and Panasonic and Nikon and Nikon. Nikon, you have 2 records here. And then for Panasonic, what is the cost price? 1200. If you see here 1200, the same Panasonic, you put the 1200 here because your manager wants to see a report, something like this. And the Nikon, here you have 2 records, but here you sold at a different price. For these two same product, the sales value is different, 500 and 300, but the cost price remains same, 250, 250. It comes from this table. Already we measured it, right? So it is available as part of single file now. So date or, it remains as it is. That's all. But you can perform, this is called inner join. Supposing you have something called Sony here. Let's say you have Sony here in this file. Actually, whatever product you have, the same product should be there in your transaction file also. This is called as a transaction file. This is kind of a lookup table. Let's say you have Sony here. It will drop Sony because Sony is not available here, right? Matching rows, based on the matching rows, only it will select the values in the case of inner join. And left outer join. What is left outer join? Okay, I will just explain a simple example. Let's say in table A, you have 1, 2, 3. And table B, you have 1 and 3 and 8 is there. Okay. So in this case, in the case of inner join, what are the common values? 1 and 3. Only these 2 values will be returned. Okay, only these 2 records will get returned. Okay, inner join. Because here 8 is not there. You don't see 8, and here you don't have 2 here. Okay. So the common values are 1 and 3 between these two digits, 1, 3. And only 1, 3 will be returned. Okay. And the next one is left outer join. The same value. You have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, 8 is there. Left outer join, as you can see here, only the left side got colored with a color. So colored, right? Colored. Right side, they did not do any coloring. But see here, what it tells us is select the value, the common between these two data sets, and then the rest are the values from your left side table. What is the common value between these two tables? 1 and 3. So 1, 3. And okay, common value between these two, and then remaining value. What is the remaining value? 2. 1, 3, 2. So matching value between these two tables, and then the rest of the values from the left side table will get selected in the case of left outer join. The right outer join is the opposite. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 3, 8. What is the common value between these two? 1 and 3. Still it is same, right? So and then the rest of the values from the right side table, 1, 3, 8. Simply saying the right side of the table data and left side of the table data, you will get it in the case of left join and right join. And in the case of full outer join, it is something like A union, all the values 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 8. Left anti-join, this is A minus B. How many of you heard about the school time would have studied? This is A minus B. This is B minus A. Okay, here you have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, and here you have, let's say, so 1, 2, and let's say 6 here. Whatever is there, which is not there here, right? So you have 1, A minus B. You need to subtract, yeah, whatever is there, it is there here, which is not 2 is there, and 3. A minus B is 3. And what is B minus A? If you apply the same thing, what you will get? 6, right? B minus A 6. Now the question is, what kind of scenario in real-time situation we'll be using left anti-join, right anti-join? If you ask me that, for example, you sell products in 2 retail stores. You own 2 retail stores. I call the store A and store B. So here you sell 10 products. Here you sell 10 products. Not necessarily, you are selling all the 10 same all 10 products. Here also you sell it. Okay, there is there is a different products here. Now you want to see whatever the products that you sell in store A, which is not there in store B, you want to select that, and vice versa. Whatever the product you sell it, which you don't sell it here, you want to sell. Let's say I've given you 2 Excel file, store A, store B Excel file. Here I have product names are there. Here the product names are both the files. There are some products are same, but some products are not same between these two things. If I ask you this question, whatever the products we sell it in store A, which we don't sell it here, and vice versa. So you can use in that kind of situation the left anti-join or right anti-join. Okay, not common between the data set. Okay, so that's why I mentioned earlier, right? So 1, 2, 3, 6, and here you have 1, 2, 8. So you will not consider the common value between these two. In that case, 1, 2 will go away. Okay, and then you left with only the 3 here, right? So you left with only 3 here. 8 you are not supposed to consider because it is the other side of it. So 3. Okay, same thing, right? You sell product 1 to 3, whereas you sell product 1 to 8. Whatever you sell in the store, which you don't sell it there, right? So 3. The opposite is 8. Same thing. And next one is left antigen, right antigen. So the rest of them are very simple one. In the interview, we just tell them, if they ask you what is left antigen, you can simply say A minus B, B minus A. In SQL, we have something called minus operator is available. Okay, and select from table A, minus select product, listen, a product column from table A, select product from table B. It will give you the same thing, left anti-join. Okay, right anti-join if you need it, select B minus select A. That's all. Now we will go to the Power BI desktop and Power Query Editor, and then we will take a look at it here. I'll just go to the transform data. You need to have the foreign key frame, this one. So I just disable this one also because we don't need this one, already demonstrated. And next, what I will do is I just go to the home and new resource, and here select Excel workbook, and here I just select NC sales. This is my transaction file. Sorry, new source. Another Excel is something like dim product. Or dim customer. I just take customer. I right click on it, rename it with some meaningful name, dim customer. This is something like a transaction table. I just rename with some meaningful name, sales fact. In the case of analytics project, we call the tables as dimension tables and fact table. Okay. Fact tables are something like transaction table, daily order transaction. Every day customers will order the product. All the details will be there here. Whereas in the customer table, you will not have the duplicate values here. In the case of customer ID, each customer ID should be unique. You're not supposed to have blank. Here some data issues there. Fine. Here the customer ID and here the sales fact table. We also have customer ID, location key, product ID. Likewise, different IDs are there. And along with this, you have sales amount, quantity, everything is there. Now your manager wants to see which customer purchased, how many units and how much sales and how much profit. We want to basically find out the profitable customer. I want to see the customer name and I want to see the units so purchased by him, and then the sales amount, the corresponding sales amount, the profit. Okay. So what we do is, in this case, I just select this one, home ribbon. I just go to the merge queries. Instead of append queries, I want to select the merge queries. Sorry, not this one. I'm going to select the second one. As I told you, when I use merge queries, the sales fact and dim customer will get merged together, and then you will see only one view. Later point, if you want to cross verify, you will not have these two tables separately. Hence, I'm not going to disturb these two things. I'm going to create a new one, new merge. And here, since I selected sales fact, and when I clicked on the merge, sales fact appears on top of this one here. And second table, I need to select it here. So here, dim customer. Guys, now you tell me, which column is common between these two tables. Customer name, no, we don't have it here. Because sales fact, you will not have customer name. Only the customer ID is there. You select this column here. You need to select these two columns, the common columns between these two tables. Only then the OK button will get enabled. And if you see just beneath this, you will find something called join kind. I was talking about left outer join, right outer join, full outer, inner join, left anti-join, right anti-join. I just go by the default left outer join. So look here, all from first, the left side table, matching from second. Very crisp statement. Okay, so the common column between these two tables selected, and then only you need to do merge. Okay, and then here you need to select this one, any one of the type. Okay, and click on OK. Now a new query got created, merge one. The sales fact and dim customer, these two queries remains as it is, and new query got created. So here all I need is, I just scroll towards the right side. You will find the dim customer table at the end of it. And here you will find some up arrow kind of thing. Okay. You need to click on this so that this one will get expanded. All I need is, I just need customer name. I don't need the customer ID. I just click on it. From this table, I can see that the customer name, the table name dot customer name is available here. Okay, fine. And what I do is, I selected this one and I go ahead and select which all columns that my manager needed. Okay, I just select the quantity by holding the control key, and then I selected these three columns. And if I scroll, okay, 4 columns. Look here, another beautiful feature. When I right click on it, remove other columns, except the selected 4 columns, the rest of them you remove it. In one go, if I click on it, all the other columns will get removed in one shot. You don't have to go and select each and every column. Okay, look here, and you can rename it. Just double click on it. You can rename it as customer name. Now you reshape the data. You brought the customer name from customer dimension to your sales fact table, and then you remove all the unnecessary columns, or the columns that you don't need it, you remove it. And okay, good. So now what you can do is you can go sorting, you can do sorting, sort descending. Okay, and if you select this one, it'll get, you can see the Victor. Okay, he's the one, right? The top customers. Victor sale amount is very high, and all the 5 people, right? So you can see the profit is this much. Okay, some data. Okay, fine. So top 5 customer, top customers you can see, but still if you want to display only top 5 or only top n, okay, you have a top n function available as part of your DAX. When you explain your DAX, we can do so. DAX, you can do a lot of advanced analytics, very beautiful one. Okay, the built-in functions, a lot of options are available. But within this Power Query Editor, how can I do this? You can do it this. So you can, by sorting this column in descending order, you can do it. Any of the, or this column or this column. Or if you want it by quantity, you can do it. Okay. But if you sort it by profit itself, you will get to know, right? The quantity. All I know. Obviously, you should have sold more number of quantity, and the sales amount will be more, because of which your profit will be more, right? So now this is what left outer join. Look here, if I scroll down here at the bottom, I don't see any issues here. Okay, everything got mapped here. I did left outer join. Similarly, if I select, okay, now the question is, if I want to join more than 2 tables, in this case, we have joined we have merged them customer and sales fact table, only these 2 tables. If I have one more table is there, we want to join 3 tables. In that case, what you need to do is you need to first join these 2 tables. You got this intermediate table, right? In this table, you need to have the ID columns, like a product ID and other things. You should have it here. Okay. And then what you do is this one, you can merge it with the product table, product dimension table. And then you will get product name, customer name, everything in a single table. So this is how first you need to join these tables, and then you need to join this output with other one. Okay. So the product ID table. So dim product dimension table. In the product dimension table, product ID will be there. Product ID and product ID should be common here. Here I deleted product ID, but based on your requirement, you need to make sure that which ID column should be there in the intermediary merge. Okay, you can do that. Now what we will do is I'll just show you the other options. I just select sales line. I just go to the transform, and not transform, home ribbon. I just select merge queries as new. Here I select product. Where is the product? I did not load it. Okay, I need to load that one. I just load it. It will not take much time. Dim product.xls. In this table, you can see the product ID. You remember I was talking about this one. The common key. So here you have primary key. This is the foreign key, right? So here the sales fact table. Now I'm loading the product table here. Dim product table here. So here product ID is there. Supposing I want to join these 2 tables, sales fact, instead of doing this one, right? I deleted that column. And here what I do is I just select home ribbon and then merge queries as new. Here I select my product table, dim product. What is common column between these 2 tables? Product ID, right? Product ID and product ID. The sales fact, I have product ID, dim product ID. Instead of doing left outer join, I do something like inner join. Okay, I just do this. Whatever the records that are matching with this one, you select it. Same thing. And I just go towards the right side, look at the dim product. I need to expand this one. What I do is use original column as, and all I need is a product name here and cost price. Product name and cost price, and then the list price, so that you can compare it, quantity and sales amount. Sorry, the cost price, product name, and then the sales amount and the list price. This is your selling price, okay? And right click on it, remove other columns. And then you can just, drag this column, and wherever you want it, you can put it here. So cost price, if you drag and drop it, right, somewhat closer to the list price. The cost price is 47. This is a kind of a selling price, 50 rupees, 3 rupees profit. Okay, and how many quantity I sold it? You can see it this way. Now for you, the exercise is, instead of, see, now I merged these two, sales fact and dim product. Now what I want is, in the merge one, here along with the customer name, I want the product name. I will share this file. You start work on this, and then you get back to me. And okay, now the question is, so what kind of scenario? Let me just, all of you are there, right? Okay. I thought of compensating today. Anyhow, we will finish it off in 5 minutes. Don't worry. Okay. I'll share this file also, and I'll give you some instruction how you need to use that file which I sent it to you. Look here. Now the question is, left outer join. Now you understood what is left outer join. Matching values between these two tables, the common values between these two tables will be selected. The non-matching value from this table will get selected, or matching values between these two tables and the remaining values from the table A. This is your left outer join. Now, if they ask you in the interview, why, okay, fine, this is what left outer join. Can you tell me what kind of scenario that you have used left outer join? How it helped? Same thing. Product table. I have product table, and then I have sales fact table. Okay, we sell, let's say we sell 50 products. In my company, we sell 50 products. In total, we sell 50 products. Just because I sell 50 products, that doesn't mean this month all the 50 products my customer purchased. We cannot say, right? In all the invoices, 50 products, we can see it. We cannot say like that. Maybe out of 50 products, only 20 products would have purchased by my customer in the last month. Okay. Now my manager wants to see which all products we sold, which all products we did not sell this month. Can you give me a report? When you do a left out session, what will happen? Here you have all 50 products, but here you just listen, only 20 products related transactions are there. Okay, what will happen is, for example, you have product A and product B. For simplicity's sake, instead of saying 50 products, we'll say we sell only 5 products. Just because I sell 5 products, I cannot say all the 5 products purchased by my customer in the last month. But in the last month, when I take all the transactions, most of all the customer, they purchase only A, B, C. The D and E, they did not purchase it. But if I display D and E along with the sales fact, right? Here A purchased product A, we sold 5, and product B we sold 200, and products we sold 50. Okay, and product D and E, if you use left outer join, along with the sold records, along with the records that are available in sales fact table, the products which we did not sell at DE will be there here, right? So DE, it will show blank. So with this report, they can quickly understand. Okay, in the sales, I just write it. In the sales, you have something called A, product A, and you sold product A. And again, product B. Let's say in product B, you sold 100. And another customer, they purchased 100, the same product. And C, 25. And these are called your transactions. But when you take the total here, A5 and B200 and C50, this is the total they want. He doesn't want to see the itemized or transaction level information. He just wanted to see the summary, how much we sold in each product. But when you do left outer join, when you do inner join, what will happen? So in the products table, you have A, B, C, D, E. So inner join, what will happen is whatever, this is what in inner join. The ABC, only the matching value. It will not display the DE. Matching values, matching rows only will get displayed between the two tables. When you use a left outer join, the beauty is matching values ABC between these two tables, and the remaining values from the left side will also get displayed here, DE. So that with the help of left outer join, you can see what products we sold, what products we did not sell. Now the right outer join. Right outer join, supposing in this case, what will happen is we use something called exception report. What is exception report? See, whatever the product you have it here, the same product should be there in your fact table. Sometimes due to data entry or something, that they have something called K. They put the product name as K, and they sold 50. Actually, this product K is nothing but product C. Instead of putting C, since they did not know the product name, they put K. But this K is not available here. If you do right outer join, what will happen? Matching value ABC. The matching products are ABC. ABC is available here, and the product table also available. But the right side of the table is sales fact now. This is the one. This is my sales fact. But here the K is displayed. When you see here, something wrong here. Why this K? First of all, K should be there here, but it is not there here, but it is displaying there. If you have something kind of exceptional thing, right, it will show you when you use right outer join. Okay, inner join is, no, I don't want to see what we sold, what we did not sell. Okay, I just want to see only the items that we sold. So then you do inner join. Okay, and full outer join is I want everything fine. So this is the one I already told you. So in store A, whatever the product which is sell it, which we don't sell it in store B, can you show me the list? Hope you guys understood the concept as well as the application. How, what kind of scenario, which one you are supposed to use. Now you understood. Got it? Okay, just to summarize, we have discussed about append and we have discussed about merge query. So append will combine rows from two or more tables, table A, table B, right? So it'll combine the tables, and one after another. A and B will be combined together. These two are separate file, but A and B, right? It will combine the two tables one after another, and then it will put in a single file. Okay. Whereas in the case of merge query, it combines data from two or more tables based on the matching rows. It is similar to joins in SQL query. With merge, you can perform all these types of joins. Okay. And with append query, you cannot use any joins, but instead you can combine the multiple files into a single file. But append doesn't takes into account of the duplicate values, and the order of the column should be same, but need not to be same. But if you don't have the same columns, it will mess up. Okay, ideally you should have all the columns, all the files. When you use append option, you need to make sure that all the files have the proper column order and proper data type, and the total number of columns should also be matched. Okay, fine. So now we are done with append and merge.